welcome to this new YouTube video. In this YouTube video, I'll show you how you can 10x your output and your efficiency by a simple equation. And I wish I saw this video 5 years ago when I started out with my entrepreneurship journey, because it makes everything clear why you are not having the success that you want to have. So let's dive into the Miro board and I will show you.
Awesome, so let's get into it. So let's first think about what is success, right? And we're all entrepreneurs here, so what does success mean in a business setting? It simply means the amount of money you earn. And of course, that's not the main goal of why you're in business. You're here to serve clients. For me, it's the exact same thing. But if you are serving clients at a good rate, then you will earn more money. If you bring more value to the marketplace, you will earn more money. So money is the easiest way to look at success, right? Even if it's not the perfect metric, it's something we can all use. Now, let's say that your goal is making 100K, right? Your goal is making 100K. Okay, now what determines how fast that you get to this 100K? What determines it? And it's literally only this. It's your output and your efficiency. So I won't write down efficiency, otherwise this video will be quite long. But the sole thing that determines how fast you will get to the 100K is your output. Just take the example, right? Let's say what you're doing now in a day, you could do that times 3. How much faster would you get to the 100K? Let's say now you're prospecting 50 people a day, and then you would prospect 150 people a day. Then you would get to your goal almost 3 times as fast, right? So in the end, it's all about output, because output determines the speed at which you operate. And if you don't believe me, look at all the most successful people. If you look at Elon Musk, then his output is very high. He does a lot of things, and he also uses a lot of leverage because he knows exactly where he wants to go. He's optimized everything in that regard, and then he uses the leverage of other people's time to actually get there in the fastest way possible. Because you really have to understand this one core concept. Whether you are Jeff Bezos, whether you are Elon Musk, whether you are Stephen Kleiner, you have 24 hours in the day. And how you use these 24 hours, how optimized those 24 hours are, that determine how fast you will get to your goals. And I'm not saying that if you're, for example, at 10K now and you want to get to 100K, that you won't get there. But it's just a matter of how fast you actually get there. If your output is at the maximum rate, then you will get there way, way faster than if your output is at a suboptimal rate. So then we can ask ourselves the question, what determines the output and the speed? And for me, what I've noticed also in coaching numerous amounts of people is that there are 5 things that really determine how fast you can go. The first one is your self/identity. So what do I mean with that? It basically means, how well do you know yourself? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your flaws? What is your current identity? Who is the person that you need to be in order to get there? Do you have complete clarity about your goals? What do you actually want? Like, do you want the 100K? Do you want the 1 million? And why do you actually want that? So that's the first step, right? If you have that very clear, it makes everything else way easier. And especially the strengths and weaknesses part. If you, for example, know you're an introvert, then you also know that in your business, you might not be the best at going to events and speaking in front of a lot of people. You could, for example, I'm also more introverted and I've built myself in a way that I can easily do prospecting calls and speak at events, but it's not my strong suit. My strong suit is just sitting down doing creative work. So that's why in my business, in our business, that's what I'm good at, looking at the whole program, making it better, making sure that everyone is getting results in the program. So this is the first one. It's actually like knowing yourself, basically. Then if you know yourself, then it comes down to your body. And what do I mean with body? It is, how energized are you waking up? Are you experiencing brain fog throughout the day? Do you have inflammation in your body? What is your nutrition looking like? Do you get a lot of energy from that? Like all the things that determine the state of your body. That's the second thing that determines it. Because, for example, you can know yourself very well, but if you're still like having a lot of brain fog throughout the day, dips in energy, you will never have the output that you actually know you can have, right? So that's the second thing. Then the third thing is your time management. And what do I mean with time management? Where is your time actually going to, right? Because your time should actually only go to three things. The first one is working, the second one is recovering from work, and the third one is things you find fun to do. So it could be hobbies, being with family, being with friends, and your time shouldn't be spent on anywhere else. So your time shouldn't be spent on getting groceries, cleaning, doing errands, doing maintenance tasks in the business. That's all stuff that doesn't bring you faster to the 100K goal. So that's the third thing, like how optimized is your time? How many hours are you actually working? And how much do you get distracted by other people, or maybe you have to go to the grocery store to get something? That's the third variable that determines your output, your speed, and then how fast you can get to this goal. Then the fourth one is actually focus, because you can know exactly who you are. You can know exactly, you can optimize your body. You can do all the biohacking stuff, feel like you have a lot of energy, and you can optimize your time so you don't waste any time on things that you don't want to do. And also here, for example, it's also phone usage, right? If you are just on the phone for 1 hour a day extra than you want to, that ties into 2 weeks in a full year that you're on your phone. That's actually a vacation you could get to, right? But that's something else. But even if you optimize all of those things, if you can't focus, so if you can't focus for like 4 hours, 5 hours a day, then you will never be able to do your best work. Like your output will still be shit, because like it takes 25 to like 45 minutes to really get into the zone, get into flow. And if you are in that state, which you've probably experienced, things just like are just 3-4 times as more productive than before. So even if you've optimized all of these things, if you can't focus, you still are not going to have the output and speed that you need to get to your goal in the fastest way. And then the last part is, because that's, for example, when I started out with performance coaching, I thought like, oh, this is the most important thing, which it is. Like it is 100%. That's why there are 3 variables in that, or actually 4 if you count the self and identity. But then the 5th one is business, and that is business strategy. So the strategy you're using, the tactics you're using, the actions that you're taking, the leverage you have, the team that you're building. And these 5 things together determine how fast you can actually move and how fast you can get to your goal. And if you don't believe me, you can have a perfect business strategy, but if you can't do anything to it because your brain is foggy, because you are ruining your time with all that, like all the nonsense, and you can't even focus for more than 20 minutes at a time, you can have a perfect strategy, you're never going to fix anything. And the other side is as well, right? Like you can have optimized everything you want, but if you have a shitty strategy, sure, you'll have success, but you won't have as much success as you want. And now, so I've made this argument, right? And now what most people think, and you're probably thinking the same way as well, is like, okay, let's say now you know yourself, it's like an 8, right? Your body is optimized, maybe a 5, you're still waking up tired, you have brain fog sometime. Your time is quite optimized, let's say it's a 6, but you can't really focus, that's a 3. And then you have a very, you have an okay business strategy. So let's say it's an 8, right? What most people think is that your performance or your output levels will be the average of this thing, right? So let me just grab my phone. Let me just calculate what is the average of this. It's 8, 5, 6, 3, 8. Divided by 5. So the average is a 6. And this is what most people think. And why do most people think that? Because as humans, we have a difficult time understanding exponential relationships. So this is like a linear relationship and this is exponential, right? So exponentials, for example, also what you have with investing, that if you invest $100 every month, from now on, maybe the first 10 years you won't really see returns, but then after that it just starts compounding. And that's where the real value is. And as humans, we can only understand this. So we just think like, hey, if our time management skills go up to an 8 and our body goes up to an 8, then let's just take that example, right? You improve. So let's say this stays at 8. This becomes also an 8. This becomes like a 7. Your focus really improves, so it turns into a 7 as well, and your business strategy just completely rocks. So what most people now think is that the increase in your performance is this 8.7.7.9 divided by 5. So now your performance is a 7.8. This is a linear relationship, but what this is not taken into account is that these things all intertwine with each other. Because if you, for example, focus 4 points better, then that makes your business strategy better, it makes your time management better, it makes how you use your body better, and it makes yourself and your identity better. So actually what is happening is a logarithmic change. And what do I mean with that? Actually, you have to calculate it like this: 8.5.6 times each other. And for this, the same. And then you'll see that the change in your performance, in your output, is actually exponential. The difference between having an 8 and a 5 in your body, having a 7 in your time instead of a 6, is an exponential difference. It will make you exponentially have more output, more speed. And let me illustrate it here. So here we did it, we added it up to each other. Now we're going to multiply it. So times 6, times 3, times 8, right? So now what this would be is 5, 7, 6, 0. And then the other one is 8 times 8 times 7 times 7 times 9 is 28,024. And in a linear setting, we just think that we went up by 1.8 points. So maybe that's like, I don't know, 20% that we actually went up, right? Maybe 30%. If we look at the logarithm scale, which actually is, right? Because are you actually believing the argument that if your body is performing at an 8, then you will use your time more effectively, like the time that you actually spend working will be more effectively spent. If you increase your focus, then that time will be even better. So then your output becomes better, and better. And it's an exponential thing because it's holistic, right? It's all tied into each other. So now if you look at this, then it's a 5x increase of your performance by just changing a few variables. And because they're all interrelated, your increase in performance is exponential. And this is what people are not seeing. And this is what the key to success is. It's not about having a good business strategy. It's not only about having good focus. It's about all the things together. Because if you optimize them all together, you get exponential results. And that's the thing you should do. That was this YouTube video. I just wanted to show you that if you want to get to your goals in the fastest way possible, and you really want to go for speed, then what you need to do is you need to really optimize your output. And how you optimize your output is by first up knowing your strengths and weaknesses, knowing yourself, knowing your identity, the person that you want to be. It's by optimizing your body, your sleep, nutrition. It's by optimizing your time and the time that you're wasting. It's by optimizing your focus. And then lastly, by having a great business strategy, tactics, and a great team. And if you improve all of those, you won't just get a tiny increase of like 1.8 on a scale of 10. No, you get a 5x increase. That's how insane this is. And here you're not even at like an 8 or a 9, right? You're not even there. You're just at an okay level, but you're not even at the greatest level ever where you could be. If you would have a 9 everywhere, let's just do, and then we'll end this video up. Let's say you would have a 9 here. You have a 9 here, and you have a 9 here, 9 here, and a 9 here. And let me just calculate it real quick. Is 9 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. This is insane. Let me just grab this and put it here. Then what you would think here is that it has become a 9. So you had a 50% increase from this point. And here it's become, well, around 95,000. So that is actually a 10x increase in your output, your speed, and your efficiency, right? Whereas here it's sorry, it's a half increase. It's actually a 10x increase from where you are. And that's why it's so important that if you want to get to your goals in the fastest way possible and you want to 10x your output and efficiency, you should look at everything holistically. Start optimizing yourself, start optimizing your body, start optimizing your time, start optimizing your focus, because then you will get on this logarithmic scale and you will be at your goals in no time. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about this, please send me a message and I'll see you in the